Hi, everyone.
Nate, you ready? Yay, yay. We are.
Nikhil.
There's seats up here.
Yeah.
Xavier. Okay. Come up front. Yep. Hey, India. Hey, Boo Boo. Hey.
Ronita, come to the front, please. Where is she at?
Yeah, you need that chair, Nikhil. No, not Nikhil. Nikhil. Huh? Okay. Okay, well, we're live and it's backstage and we haven't said cut yet. So, how y'all doing? So, we're live right now. So, this is the first time that we decided to go live, Parenting on Autism with Mocktails and Cocktails. If you can't see us, stand up. If you can't see us, log on. But thank you guys for all the support that you show us throughout the years. This was an idea from a happy hour that I thought, let's just get together and talk about parenting on autism, because there are some amazing moms in the house. I see them all. I love what we do for the community, but it ain't easy. And I have 26-year-old twins living on the spectrum, and they are Sydney and Sabrina sitting in the front row right now, and they just love to hear their mother talk.
Double trouble.
Double the love, double the blessing, double the trouble, double the heartbreak, double the build up on the heart. I mean, double the what?
Double the bills.
Double the motherfucking bills. So I decided, because I have such a potty mouth, and I do know the Lord, but I do, he's still working on me, and I do have a potty mouth. So that's why I decided to do a podcast explicit, so that I could really show you guys how I feel. And growing up with Sydney and Sabrina, because I had to grow up all over again and live in the autism world, I used to tell them, I don't really have to do this. So y'all better get it together. So this is a product of them getting it together, and I'm excited about tonight. We got DJ Heat in the house. We have Mike Dimbeck wearing sis-sips. And so I'm going to pass it off to the Blues Brother TPC. I'm let me take another sip. It's never too many cocktails, girl. So I'm going to move my mic so I can switch over to look at this beautiful woman. Shakila, Sharona, my daughter, my sister friend. She stalked me for so many months. And it was a wonderful.
Worked out.
Yep. So here you go, baby. We getting ready to do this. Let's do it. So who do we have tonight?
So we have Faith Evans.
Woo-hoo!
Come on, boo.
How you doing? Let's get these mics adjusted.
Faith has a son that is 16 years old, Big Ryder.
Big Ryder.
Just had a birthday. And Faith, tell us about when you first found out, when you first heard the word autism.
What were your
crossed
thoughts?
your mind?
Well, first of all, thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely.
And hi, everybody that came out today. I am Faith Evans, and my son Ryder, he just turned 16, as she said. But Ryder, actually, I begged his pediatrician for a diagnosis, because in Los Angeles, we were just talking about this in the car, we have the regional centers, which is where we go to get any services and supports outside of the school district. Mm-hmm. So I knew that I wanted to get the early, the early development supports. And typically you want to do that before they're 3 years old. I knew something wasn't right because I have 3 older children. And I'm like, he should be talking. That was the main concern. I mean, which is still to this day the major issue, the speech and language delays, which obviously leads to certain behaviors and frustrations,
Absolutely.
But at the same time, I begged the doctor just so I could be a part of the regional center, because before he was diagnosed, I used to just, independently put him in speech therapy or OT therapy, because I felt like, well, in going down the rabbit hole of Googling, and there's so many things, but it's like, okay, this is one thing that I think it won't hurt, to do that. If I think his speech is delayed, let's put him in speech therapy. But I did that independently way before he was diagnosed, because I knew something was wrong.
Okay.
But shortly before he turned 3, I was able to convince his pediatrician to give us a diagnosis, and, we've been walking this walk ever since.
Yep.
Yes. And you are a big activist on autism. You do a lot on your platform, and we appreciate you. Good Deeds for Special Needs was the name of her podcast.
Yep.
And she does a lot in our community. Sybil, how old were the twins when you found out?
They were 4,
They were 4?
96 babies, so yeah.
And I knew when Seth and Cyrus were 2, I had the same, I noticed something wasn't right. They wouldn't make eye contact with me, and they wouldn't talk. They weren't saying, they just didn't seem like they were at that age level, 2 years old,
I think that one thing that was important that mirrored both of you all's story is that you had previous children. So you knew.
I didn't even know you had other children.
Yes.
Shara,
yes.
Anthony.
She has older children.
Oh,
so it's important to know that you knew what
Absolutely.
developmental stages at what point to zero in on different cues. And so Sydney and Sabrina were my only 2. And I had twins right out the box in 96. So they're 26 right now. And it's so important that we get early diagnosis right now. In 96, there was nothing. And in 2023, there's so many services, and there's so many things that we promote. And from 2008, when I started walking in the autism community, the numbers changed. It was 1 in 88, and now it's 1 in 46. So, it fluctuates based on whatever month or whatever time or whoever does the sensories. So they really don't know. But think about it. There's it's a growing epidemic where our community needs to spread the information. And so that was why we decided to do this podcast. And I'm extremely excited to hear about your journey. And once you did get that diagnosis from the pediatrician, what were some of the things that you did that you could help the people listening and our audience listen to how you walked that walk?
How'd you deal with it?
I can't sit here and cognitively say, boom, boom, boom. I didn't, I never knew I would have a child.
Exactly.
I didn't even plan on having another child.
Okay.
You understand?
I didn't plan on having twins. I only wanted one, and the other one came.
Definitely was, but initially, it's just figure it out. I got to figure out. I was trying to figure it out before the diagnosis.
Yeah, you identified with it early.
But there's so many things throughout from then till now that I've learned, and I'm still learning.
We are.
You know what I mean?
We are.
I'm still learning,
That's why it's so important to keep talking about it.
Exactly.
For example, with the IEP. That's something that's really kind of what sparked me to start doing those symposiums, because that was my first real, no, I won't say first hurdle, but Ryder had been in, in the LAUSD schools, and then we tried a couple of non-public schools, and I actually popped up and saw him being mishandled by the BII.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was over there peeking around. I'm yo, hey.
Get off my son. Mama
at the
Bear
same
showed
time,
up.
I mean, and then even back to the IEP thing, like I used to go to them thinking like it's like a parent-teacher conference, you know?
Nope.
And not knowing this is where the funding
Absolutely.
is connected to that. Like this school is getting money for your child being enrolled there.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Whether
We're
they're
so
giving
not
them the
uneducated
services,
about it.
if you
have
don't
to
know, you
educate
don't
your
know.
individual, personalized education
it's supposed to be
plan.
individualized.
Yes.
That's the point.
Yes.
Right.
So how can you
IEP.
tell me my child is doing anything wrong when you're supposed to be putting things that are catered only to him?
Yeah.
In that
Because
plan.
you're getting money for that.
Yep.
Right.
So when
And
you
y'all are putting it in a plan, but if I didn't know that he really wasn't getting that stuff,
then you
I
would never know.
I was signing it.
Yeah, you would be
Right.
like,
And one of
okay,
my
he needs
homegirls
20
like,
minutes.
you don't gotta sign that shit.
Yep, that's
Right.
how I
No,
was.
we're gonna take that home and we're gonna read
up
you know.
on it.
So she was really my first advocate.
Okay.
And, you know, writers as well, but you know.
Malika.
Well, you need.
No, before I met Malika, shout out to Dolly Peterson. She was actually
Yay.
a guest on one of my symposiums too. But her
Okay.
son Georgie, I met her when Ryder was 2, when I was doing the speech therapy just on my own before
Nice.
diagnosis. And she was the first person to tell me, like, don't sign that. Let's take it. And she went to my meetings with me actually because she was a little more knowledgeable. I didn't
Good.
know, you know, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what the hell they were saying, but I thought because they're saying, oh, we met this goal and blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, you know,
No.
it sounds all
Bullshit.
right. But
Yeah.
if you don't know, you don't know.
You don't know.
Even
Yeah.
the pockets of money that are available.
Yes.
You know,
Right.
I remember having a case manager through Regional Center, which is where we go for our supports outside of the school district in California. And someone had told me, you can get a check for this. You can get a check for that. Blah, 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 blah.
Who knows?
And I asked the case manager, and she's like, oh, well, we only give it to parents who ask for it. How the fuck I'm gonna ask for something that
You know
I'm
nothing
sorry, excuse
about.
my language, y'all.
For real.
But I'm sorry. But this is what my heart felt like.
Faith.
I didn't mean to offend anyone.
Faith.
But how am I going to ask for something that I don't know
Right.
is
Nothing
even
about.
there? I
Okay.
don't know.
No.
Right.
This should be stuff information that's readily
Exactly.
available.
Exactly.
Like, you know?
Yep.
But, you know.
But that's why we do what we do. Autism awareness. We got to spread awareness to get acceptance, to gain inclusion. It's
And
very,
I ain't even
very
really had a full
important.
cocktail, so I'm really sorry for that. For that.
It's right there, boo.
Oh, yes! Now we really going. Now it's really getting real. No. I can't drink fruity drinks, boo.
It's right there.
I need like a Tito's and club soda, no ice.
Yeah,
Dale,
no blue.
Please.
Yes.
Dale,
Boo,
Tito's.
poo.
I
Somebody
can't drink the
Tito's
sugar.
and Club Ice, because she already said the shit's getting ready to get real.
No. I'm just, it's just jokes.
No, I love it.
That's just jokes.
This is the platform for it because our sisters need to
you
hear and
know,
our brothers need to hear that IEP, we need to educate ourselves on IEP. And when I heard about it in 2000, I was like, what? And they were talking over my head, and I had to ask my sister, like, look it up and figure this shit out
Right,
because I have 2 children that need services. And so if I didn't dig deep and figure what the school system was supposed to give, not ask, not beg, give my daughters, they wouldn't be sitting here, you know, today because there was no services back then.
Right,
So-
right.
Yeah.
It wasn't even, it was like a whole different term of, you know? Like, and even to your point about like those type of things, like, well, not so much about the funding. What was I gonna say? Basically, every year, I don't sign the IEP because at
Okay.
this point, we pulled Ryder out of the public school system.
Good for you.
And
Right.
I go to due process, and I get them to reimburse me for everything I spent out of pocket.
Oh, good for you.
You know, but a lot
California
of
is so
people don't.
different.
Well, I don't know if that's just California is what I'm saying.
Okay, we have to
You may
research.
not realize you can even,
Yeah.
you know,
Might have it here.
go against that and not
Yeah.
agree with it and say, well, I'm going to do this.
Right.
You know, but again, everybody can't just do that either.
No.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
It's all different
You know what I'm
categories,
saying?
yes.
But I know that I'm not going to subject my son to being mistreated just for sake of him being able to ride on a bus and be
And
around
be
other
around
kids.
other kids,
You know,
yeah.
he's doing much better academically getting the independent services that I provide for him.
Good.
But I do go back and have them pay me back.
I know that's right.
And people don't know that you can do
Here
that
comes
either.
the Tito's.
Hey, girl! And a lot of there are attorneys that specifically represent parents in that, and the district pays them.
Okay.
You know, so if that was ever a situation where you didn't agree with something in your IEP, or you wanted to question something, or you decided, hey, I want to go outside of this and pay for it on my own and go back and get it. Oh, you can do that. Because that has nothing to do with the tax bracket or the
amount of
your
money
revenue.
that you make
that has
and
nothing
all
to do
of
with
that, your
'Cause
class.
If that mattered, then my son wouldn't have been mistreated at all.
Hello.
Exactly.
That don't got nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
It's just that I'm not gonna really go on the road. That's why for any faithfuls in here, I ain't doing nothing but taking care of my son right now.
Yeah,
and everything else kind of, if it makes sense
If
in
it
between
makes
it, then
sense, it
I'll do
makes
it. But
sense.
I'm his number one advocate, and
That's right.
Exactly.
he deserves that. It's my job.
Well, you were
That's why
gifted.
God gave
like
me
God,
this
I believe
position.
God gifted
Exactly.
you.
Yes,
Like I think
yes.
all of our platforms, and God chose us to be our children's individual angels walking on earth. So that is why we're doing what we're doing, because
Exactly.
it's so important to like show a Sharona what it looks like at 26.
Right.
This could happen. And it took a while for me to release the daughters that I have, my twin girls, to what was services that they were accepted in, because I just wanted to hover and I just wanted to be like, they're mine. They're always going to be with me, and I'm always going to take care of them. But there are like so many different services that provide quality care. And it's just a constant like making sure that that's happening, because there's never a perfect world. No matter what, you still have to like maintain the level of parenting.
Yes.
But Sybil, I'm glad that you brung that up, because this is a lot of parents' biggest fear is life after death and what happens when I get old. And one of the reasons that I connected so much with Sybil is because I was fortunate enough to come in on her journey when she was doing the transition of sending her daughters into their own independent living, and I got to witness it firsthand. And it actually restored my faith, because I get up every day like, this is my new reality. This is my life for the rest of my life. Can I really deal with it? What am I going to do when I'm 70 and they're 40 and they're strong and they're, and Sybil, because a lot of parents come to me like, what do I do when they get older?
Yeah.
But Sybil, you actually
Took a long time.
but you did it.
Yeah.
Tell us what you've done in the last year.
Well, in the last year, Sydney and Sabrina moved out on their own. They live in residential housing. Yeah,
A really great program, too.
We have a beautiful caregiver on the weekends here with us today. I'm so proud of, what has transpired in their lives. Like, to even have them sit here and listen and have a control over their being.
Right.
That's major. Like, they're... It's like we have to celebrate Sydney and Sabrina to just be able to just like, there's stemming and there's like behaviors. We had chocolate cookies up in the front, and all those chocolate cookies were Sydney's, right, Sydney? And now I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna stem and I'm gonna relax myself because mommy's talking. And then, Hollywood over there, she's got her glasses. She on her phone.
She's
she
on
like,
Instagram.
I'm so unbothered by
They're
this. When
always
do
so
I get to
fly.
like stand up and dance? But it was a long journey. From the time they were diagnosed, I thought my life was over, and I had to continue my career with, working both in my career and then coming home to whatever's happening in my house. And whoever was taking care, and Destiny is in the building today, she was, thank you, Destiny. She was a high school student that wanted to learn the community. And she always said that, she was at a daycare that they went to, and she said, I want to nanny them. I want to work with Sydney and Sabrina. So the reason why Sabrina's on her phone is because of Destiny. Destiny is a special educator here in Howard County. And I just let Destiny do what she did. And it's so hard to release release your child
And
that doesn't
find
have
good
words.
people.
It's hard to find someone
Good
that
people
you
that are
trust.
dedicated.
And then that trust, and
I
then
was
you
that way
can't
with
go
my
like
typical
somebody
kids,
do
so I
something
definitely
wrong to
ain't playing that
us,
with
we're
my-
gonna
With your
tell.
autistic child.
But you don't have words. You have to be able to like be confident enough that somebody's gonna take care of your child the way you are, and so that hurdles, and sometimes people show up that they're not really who they are. So, you have to manage through that. So it's an lasting
fear.
But you have to like believe that someone is truly going to take care of them the way you want them to be taken care of. They live 8 miles away.
But the reality is that we are going to get old, and we
Yep.
have to be able to make sure that our children are in a safe place that was planned and executed, because and this is what I've learned from Sybil. You put your child in independent living. You can choose all their programs. You can choose what they do every single day, and you get them used to living on their own. So when you do have to pass away or
Yep.
leave this earth, at least your child is where you left them, and
Yep.
they're doing what you put in place for them. All
So-
their programmings and their
Yeah.
day-to-day living, if you want them to work or just be in the day program.
The reason why I came up with the foundation, though, was because I want to leave their legacy. So I want to have their own residential housing process. I want to have a place for them to work. So it's the Twin Green, so that, I'm okay, and those people that are protecting Sydney and Sabrina, because they're angels. All
are.
children are angels, but they're a higher power. Because think about it, guys. They have no worries in the world. None.
What's
None.
a bill?
They don't live in our world. Like, they're just as happy and content, and it's a beautiful thing when you watch somebody that just is living. So that's the reason why we have to spread the good news, the good, bad, and indifferent, because it wasn't easy, and it's hard, and it's backbreaking, and it's heartbreaking when your child can't communicate. And I believe
That
Rodder's
was
a
my next
nonverbal.
question. Yeah, I was gonna ask you, are your twins?
Yeah, they're nonverbal. So Sabrina has all the words in the world, right, Marquita? Sabrina is the manager of the house, and she's her mother. And Sydney kind of goes along with Sydney, and they behaviors come when things aren't happening right and they're not being treated well. I always tell the agency, Sydney and Sabrina won't say it in the words, but they're gonna let me know, because they will shut that shit down. And I mean down. And I tell Sharona, like, Seth and Cyrus is trying to communicate with all the banging and the kicking and stuff. There's a time when they are like frustrated that they can't really communicate.
Yeah.
They're gonna let you know when your child's being mistreated.
How do you communicate with Ryder?
Well, see, up until very recently, I thought Ryder was verbal because he does have language.
Yes.
But clinically, I guess he's still considered nonverbal because he doesn't really have cognitive, language and stuff.
Conversation.
Right.
So nonverbal is when you can't have a conversation back and forth.
Exactly.
He repeats.
They're
Exactly.
nonverbal,
He
but
repeats.
they repeat words, and that's why I tell Sharona that Seth and Cyrus are getting ready. They're on the brink of using their words, and they use words for needs.
Right, that's
They're-
right.
It's a,
Ryder
it's a
too.
need
He
thing.
knows how to say what he wants.
Eat,
Right.
To eat, to
He wants
potty.
Chick-fil-A,
I'm
please.
tired.
Go for a ride,
And
please.
if
does he
you
like?
if you miss
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A,
Chick-fil-A, please.
Chick-fil-A.
And I'm
No,
like,
Seth,
ask the
this one-
question.
Seth
Hey,
and Cyrus
mommy,
is McDonald's.
can I go to
Yes.
Chick-fil-A, please?
Can I go
But he
to
says
Chick-fil-A?
Yes, please. That's everything.
Oh,
Thank you, please.
Thank you,
Hi,
please.
please.
Yeah. So that is communicating, but it's only
But
one
it's
way.
very right.
It's
only
not
one way.
between you and I. Like right
Exactly.
now is we're communicating a 3-way and a 25-way conversation. So this is verbal communication. If they needed to go to the bathroom, they're going to ask one of them, potty, please. Chick-fil-A, please. Take me to Chick-fil-A. It's a demand. It's not a conversation. And that
Right.
makes it that way.
So does he communicate any other way? Does he know sign language or anything?
No, we actually earlier on he did the PEX things with the pictures, but he outgrew that.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
doesn't work for me.
He's so smart and so aware that that frustrates him too. You know what I mean? So it's like he would feel a little slighted, by that.
Yeah.
So we've been at a crossroads, so to speak, with that, for a minute.
Yeah, and
Like we even
they'll
started
tell
doing
you.
music therapy just to kind of replace it because he can sing.
Exactly.
He knows songs.
That's what I
He's
was gonna
telling you
ask.
that I'm okay.
Exactly.
That
Yeah.
I'm okay. I don't need this right now. I've mastered this. And so, like, for each level of development is when the child will tell you, I'm good with PECs, because I'm going to tell you, I want Chick-fil-A. And that PEC system teaches them how to identify the picture to connect the sentence. And once our children learn how to say, I want Chick-fil-A, they don't want the PECs. And
Right.
it was so funny when
Right.
Sydney and Sabrina, every level of development that they master, they don't want to do
They
the
don't
next.
want to do it anymore.
Yeah, so, and Sydney and Sabrina graduated with the class of 14, and they had 3 more years. I don't know how California is. They have 3 years after you graduate to stay in the school
22.
system.
22.
So they aged out at 21, and they didn't want to go back to the same school. They were like, wait, none of my friends are here. Not saying it, but acting out. Like, I don't want to be in this building. I'm over this building. We had to transfer them to another high school to do their 3 years.
To make them think they were
to
moving
make
up.
them think that
Right.
they had moved up and elevated, because 2014, I walked with all my classmates. You're not going to bring me back in this building? And I had so many behaviors that year, the first quarter. I mean, just like snatching people in the hallway, snatching them up.
Because they knew.
Yep.
They knew.
And we had, so if for every step, they'll stop using it. Like you said, Rada doesn't want to use PECs anymore.
Question. So, like when you do your IEPs and stuff, and they, especially in the high school years, and they say either you're gonna go for a diploma or a certificate.
It's a
Right.
attendance
Is that
certificate.
the same here
Yes.
too? Okay,
It's
I'm
attendance
just,
certificate
I'm trying to
or a diploma.
See what's similar and different in terms of the.
And
school
some
district
counties in this state will not let them walk with their
stuff.
class.
That's what made me ask you that, because you said they walked.
Yeah, and it was
Wow.
important in Howard
That's
County. They include the students. Yeah, they want to include their class.
As
It's
they
a board
should.
of education. Yes, I agree. Awesome. Awesome.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
I felt like you were there all those days. You attended, even though you didn't press, you wouldn't need to be pressed, you still was educated. So you should be treated.
Right. Because y'all want me in here. Y'all got me in here because y'all getting that money from the government. Let's be clear. They are getting money from the government for your child. More money for your child with special needs attending
Right.
school.
Yes.
Exactly.
Lots
Yes.
and lots and lots and lots of money, guys.
Yep.
What grade is Ryder in?
It's in middle school.
Well, Ryder's been independently homeschooled for like 3.5 years.
So
Okay.
Rada
But
is
he's
dependently,
technically in 10th
guys.
grade.
Guys, we have a lot of different conversations going on, and I love.
That's great, right?
Yeah.
Don't you
I
love
love
it?
it. I love it. It's just that we're recording live, and so the people that are going to listen later want to hear the conversation. So we will have a question answer session, a brief question Q&A after we have the interview. So you were saying Rada does what in the school system? Like
He's being homeschooled.
he's homeschooled.
No, yeah. Well, not at home.
Right,
He goes
right.
to a place, but again, that's something that I
Put in
chose to
place.
do independently, and luckily we were blessed to meet Malika. I think she was a
she
guest.
interviewed us.
Yeah, she's been working with. She started out as writer's behaviorist, But once I pulled him out of the school system, she started doing his academics.
So what was your trigger to pull him out of mainstream school?
Girl, because I saw him being mishandled.
Mistreated. Okay, I just wanted
And
to
then
replay that.
They had, Ryder was actually suspended from one school, right?
Why? Because he had a
How? Did he get
behavior?
suspended?
This is what they said. But trust me, I went in and,
Okay.
what? Listen.
She shut
I
that
found
shit
out
down.
that they had basically, like the triangle. It was all desk and Ryder's at the end. So he's blocked in at the wall. All the desks are around him. He's telling them he has to go to the restroom. This is what the BII and the teacher said. So the only way he could get there is to go over or under the desk. He went over
Knocked
the
it
desk,
over.
knocked the teacher over to go to the bathroom.
Sure.
Okay, so they suspended him. I went in against that and told them, what would you do
Yes.
if your
Right.
child is saying they got to go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
What was he supposed to do?
Pee on the floor.
Exactly.
And then they would have a problem with that.
Like, get out of here. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
No.
So at
So
that
that was
point,
the last straw.
That was it.
so that
For
in that
real.
point you said,
And I definitely, came out on top with that situation,
Sure.
but I'm not going to send him back there after that
Yeah.
either. No.
So
so
you
then
gonna mistreat
from
my
that
child?
point, like our listeners that are on that brink of enough with the school system, my child is not a problem. What would you all do? You have blocked my child in, and I've exploded. The child has exploded to go to the bathroom, exploded to just be like not getting blocked in. What?
First of all, that's whack. Why you got him blocked in?
Right.
Like, stop doing. Don't listen.
Inclusion.
Yeah.
And he's in a specialized autism classroom.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I found out the teacher wasn't even a accredited special ed
Oh,
teacher.
see,
Oh,
so you
wow.
gotta do your
It'd
homework,
be a bunch
right?
of BS going on.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
It'd be
So-
a bunch of stuff like that.
So from that point, you said, I'm going to take Ryder and do home,
That just happened to be right before the onset of the pandemic.
there you go. I just
But
wanted
I
to break
pulled him
it
out
down.
right before that. And then once they started with the online school and stuff, I had already had someone coming
perfect.
to
You
my
had it in-
house,
in play already.
doing stuff anyway with him. And then she ended up getting her own place, so he didn't have to do it at home because that was still, I got to be there.
So he
Like-
had to go somewhere. So he
Yeah.
gets to
Right.
go somewhere, but it's still kind of
It's-
specialized
right.
home.
Yeah. And it's,
So
Gotcha.
what did that process look like, taking them, the whole transition from public school to the homeschool?
well, even before the public school, we tried non-public, but they're still a part of the school
Yeah.
district.
Yep.
We tried a few of those, but they were still not really doing him right. One school, I put him in because Ryder's a great swimmer since he was 2 years old. Swims like a
Okay.
fish.
Water is.
Put him in
yes.
this school because he got to have swimming as one of his a daily class.
Oh.
They hit me about Ryder having behaviors. Boom. I go up there for the meeting and find out that Ryder is no longer going to the pool. Okay.
Why'd
Right.
they
I
do
wasn't
that?
informed of this.
Right.
You
When
know what
did
I'm-
that happen?
Because he's such a strong swimmer. He's in the pool and he's probably swimming like a shark under
Right.
people and scaring,
He's
scaring
not
the
following
kids.
the rules.
Okay, I don't want him to be unsafe or anybody else to be in danger. But guess what he has? An I motherfucking EP, bitch.
okay?
Sorry. Again. But of course he mad. You got him sitting here watching everybody go to the pool and he can't go.
He can't go.
Come on.
It's a wrap.
And y'all ain't said nothing to me. Pulled him out of there,
Yep.
Went to a non-public,
Constant,
another non-public.
constant fight.
It's just something. Then you got him in the room sitting in the dark because he doesn't want to do this. Wait, aren't you guys getting? Listen,
Paid for this.
Hello. And I'm not
Paid.
saying it's not about, but not even from me. Y'all getting paid every day for all of these kids.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not just mine.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just happen to be popping up here because
Well, you know, mothers like us are like labeled the parent that is active. Like I'm labeled as an active parent involved. And I don't really get that. Like, why wouldn't I be?
I
and
think
they
that
tell
caught
me all
them
the
off guard
time.
about me because of the fact that I'm, once somebody figured out that I'm whatever celebrity
You're a
or
celebrity,
popular,
right. You're a celebrity,
that
not
probably is
whatever.
what caught. They don't know how regular I am, bro.
Right.
Like that's not my life. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, bro, I will not work for years if it got, you know what I mean? If I
Right.
can't do this because my kids need that. Okay, well,
I'm not
Yeah.
doing that.
It's not
'cause
about
I'm
that.
locking this down.
you know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
think that caught them off guard that I be creeping up in my yoga pants.
Yep.
And then, I don't have on no Faith Evans costume.
You're right, though. It does. It seems like every time I hear the word IEP, I got to put on my combat boots and
Yep.
my army
Yep.
fatigue
Yep.
and get ready for war. You're at a table.
And it shouldn't be that way. It really
No, it
isn't that
shouldn't.
way.
Because
It's
we're
not
supposed
that
to be on
way.
the same page.
That's all about
Why is it a fight?
because they trying to convince you of something that you already know more than them about. And the thing with us in the last few years doing IEPs, Ryder hasn't been in the school district in over 3 years. So we're doing IEPs based on paperwork from that same school where he was being mistreated. You understand? Because that's the last real person in the school
IEP.
district that worked with him. You understand? None of these people on this call right now have ever worked with my child.
Right.
But you're telling me about his goals. And I'll be like,
Get
child,
outta here.
but I have an attorney on it with me every time, you know. There's like I said, there's attorneys that specialize in that. And the school district will pay them if it comes down to it.
If you need it.
You just have to understand that and know
Never
it and
knew
kind
that
of.
until Sway's show.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know
They
that.
pay them.
I'm not. You do? In D.C.? I didn't know in Maryland that there was.
Yep.
Wow. Family lawyer. I
had
didn't
to
know
use,
that.
I had to use that system a couple of times.
I'm like, this is the
Yeah.
first, like, on Sway's show, they brought that up. I didn't know that Maryland, and I would have to look into
Not
it.
Maryland, D.C.
I know. I was like, I'm in Maryland, so I didn't know that if Maryland had it, I missed it. I did it all by myself.
Yeah.
And you
And
know,
they were like sick of me at the school board. Now they're sick of me in the agency.
stuff like that differs
See, it is
from
what it
state to
is.
state.
Yeah.
You know,
Huh?
like Malia travels with us a lot. You know,
Yeah.
whenever I have to take Ryder when I do travel, or whether it's vacation, or if I decide to do something work related and I need to take him, she travels with us. But it's always someone, whether it's a driver or, you know, like, oh my God, where'd you meet her? How can I? Oh, I have then you find out they have a kid or
Yeah,
a
it's like-
relative
it's a-
on the spectrum, and they don't have that same service in their state, or they don't have the same legislations in place. So that's sort of like I was telling you earlier. I'm trying to put together a documentary,
Disclosure.
about different families that are.
Disclosure. Is that okay to talk about?
Yes, it is.
Okay, well,
ain't
let's
nobody
spill
gave
it.
me no money for no deal. It's my idea. I can talk about whatever I want to. Hello. Yes, but I'm working on developing a documentary about different families, including myself, and their walks, you know, having to navigate life with a child on the spectrum. So hopefully
thank
you
you for
guys will see
including
that.
me
And
in
I
that.
actually called Sharona to be a
Yes.
part of it. So hopefully that'll be something that you got. But you know, back to my point, it was just to try and share the information and educate and, you know, navigate, kind of sort out the differences as it pertains to regions and states, and maybe one day make a difference in legislation so things can be like concurrent across the board, you know? So, that's I feel like it's a blessing for me to be able to
Do what you do.
aside from being a singer, but the fact that whoever it is that wants to listen to what I gotta say, this is my life right now.
Right.
And if it's something I'm learning from dealing with this, hopefully I can share that with somebody else or make a difference.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, you know.
I love it.
A lot of parents that I meet, they always feel like they're alone. They always feel like, no, you don't know what I go through every day. And I'm like, I really do. I absolutely do. I probably go through more than you do because I have two. But they always feel singled out. They don't think that there's, I love being around like people because they get me. They understand what I go through. They feel my pain. And I know a lot of parents that reach out to me on my Instagram, they feel the same way, like they're by themselves. No one understands. The teachers are against them. Their family members are against them, but they're not. And that's why we created this. Like, having twins on the spectrum has shown me where the greatest need is in the community. So I decided to fill that void, and that's why I started Blues Brothers Therapeutic Play Center. I'm actually getting a center built right now. I have a mobile unit. I wrote a book, Blues Brothers Journey Through Autism, available on Amazon.
What happened?
Yes, and it's a great resource for parents just learning, of their child's diagnosis. It helps walk you through it, and it helps you know that you're not alone. So how do you deal with traveling on the spectrum? Because I know you do a lot of traveling.
I really don't travel as much as
You used to.
yeah.
Is that
I mean, I
because of
never
Ryder?
even before Ryder was born, I never really wanted to be away from home a lot.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be there and
Local.
check on my kids and not even check on. I'm there. This is my shit. Like
Right.
I'm just saying. Like, I've never been. Everything has always had to fall around what was going on at home with my kids all the time.
Beautiful.
So I don't feel like it's not a sacrifice for me. You know what I mean? It's definitely, don't get me wrong. If I had to financially had to be out there on the road every weekend, you better be damn Skippy. I would. And I figured out if Ryder had to be there. So when I do have to travel with him, I always need support.
Yeah.
Only because, and not even only because, he's comfortable with Malika. Thank God for her. She's such an angel in our lives.
Yes, she is.
But at the same time, because of me being whatever you want to call me, popular, blah, 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 if he
Icon,
has
celebrity.
a behavior, there's still that percentage of the population that thinks on a level of they want to get some money. You know what I'm saying? That don't have that empathy. I've had a few situations where it was a total fluke of Ryder ran out the car and ran past someone that was walking down Crenshaw. And 7 months later, she found out who I was and wanted to have a lawsuit, even though nothing really happened to her. You feel me? I've had those, so I always try and make sure someone else is with me, whether it's my daughter, whether it's a friend, a cousin, my brother, you know what I'm saying? Just for that reason alone.
Right.
Because he doesn't always have behaviors. That's very few and far between, but just in case,
Yeah.
like
Does he
Jaheim,
know?
just in case, I just want to make sure. Because I'll be like, yo, go over there and handle that. Because if they think, oh, that's Faith Evans' son, then they're going to be like, they'll put some extra shit on it.
Yeah,
You feel me?
yeah.
I've had it
Just
happen before.
because.
Yeah. But,
Yeah.
I take it as a blessing to be his mom.
Yeah.
You know,
So do I.
it's totally a blessing.
Yeah. After getting over why me, then I had to buckle down and say, God chose me. And that is the blessing in my life today. And I'm extremely proud of where they are in their lives and then where I'm at in my
Still
life.
on the phone, too.
Yeah, chill.
She probably got a boyfriend.
I'm surprised she has a face.
She's engaged. You don't even know.
Okay.
He's getting her too. Rita, we talk about you. Nate got her. Too funny.
Does Ryder like electronics? Does he have a phone?
Yes, but the funny thing, Ryder's so strong and big, he'll break it and not intendingly. He be trying to, he get mad if not loading fast enough. He knows how to rip an iPhone into,
Just kung fu.
I mean, the long way. It'll be in all the layers, the screen here, the
motherboard in the middle.
and then he wants
the
your
back.
phone afterward, though. Mommy, can I have your phone? Bro, you just had a whole phone.
No.
But eventually I give it to him.
I always said that our kids should be in the factories when they say that they can't break it. It's
Oh, yeah, that's not
unbreakable.
true.
No, get these little girls in this. They can break through Fort Knox. If
Right.
we had that one time when Seth and Cyrus came to the house and we had just got new windows. Remember on Easter last year?
The door.
And they like to kick through windows and stuff. And so Ed and Sharona was like, no. Malik was like, let them. Because we were going to get our money back on the new window. Malik was like, let them. Seth did bam. We just sat there, the glass didn't break, nothing cracked. We said,
Everything
okay,
shook.
money.
Everything shook.
Sid is
but it ain't
embarrassed.
breaking.
Money well spent. Yeah, so we, at this point, if we don't have any more questions, we would like to open it up now for the question answer. And Beth is our lovely host, our other podcast.
Where's
sister.
Beth?
Beth is right here.
Beth, you haven't said a word.
She has been.
Girl.
Hold on, I gotta bring my mic. So hold on.
Okay, sorry. The reason they don't tell you about the money is because they give it to the regular ed kids.
What do you mean?
So if the school district doesn't give you the money, I'm from Michigan originally. That's where my son, he's 28 on the spectrum, nonverbal. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay. 'Cause I just
Hello.
She said, oh, thank you.
You guys want to know where Sydney and Sabrina got the spectrum from? It's me.
Guilty.
I love these ladies. They changed my life. My son is named Ross. He's 28. He's going to be 28 this year. I met Sybil through one of my Spelman sisters. I went to Spelman, and she introduced me to Sybil, who I love. And I'm from Michigan originally. And they can go to school till they're 26. But the IEP, the reason why they don't really tell you about the money that's available and what you can give is because they get that money from the government, and then if they don't hear from you or I or all these people, they take that money and put it into regular ed. Okay, yes. So it's there for everybody
But
to
where
have.
is it going? Because it ain't going to the teachers. We know that
Okay,
much.
so
Where's
no,
it
it's
going?
not. But the IEP can be called, you can call IEP every day. You can say, I don't like how this is
Oh, yeah,
going.
yeah, yeah.
I did this IEP and I want to do another one tomorrow because I don't like what you're doing.
Right.
But,
Beth,
oh,
come this way so you can come in the
Oh, okay,
camera.
sorry.
Come over here.
Look, and you so cute.
so basically, it doesn't matter where you live in the United States, the federal government gives money to education for special education
Yes.
kids.
Yes.
And basically, if you, as a parent that doesn't know, because you know that you're going through this journey by yourself, nobody's telling you. You have a baby, you think the baby's going to be developmentally on target, and then you start to see these challenges. But when you go to the school district and set up the IEP, they take those dollars and give it to regular ed programs, no matter what the regular ed programs are. Okay? So the bottom line is, to your point, you need to have that attorney or whoever, whatever state you're in, to be your advocate. But you can constantly go back and forth to those places and do that. I learned a lot. My son was born in 1995 when autism was not even the word. It wasn't.
Right.
They didn't
and
even
that's what I
understand.
was saying.
They didn't even understand
Right,
it.
exactly.
So it was a scary place. I learned a lot. My son has taught me a lot about nonverbal communication because his ability to understand language is there. He understands when I tell him no. He understands when I tell him go get this, but he doesn't stop. Potty, all those things, but he doesn't understand. But now he is living independently. When I first met Sybil, I told her, I said, I'm not doing this forever. I said, because I didn't want to do it forever with my developmentally on target child.
And I was in denial.
Okay? All right? I mean, that's not what we do. As a parent, you raise your kids to be independent, no matter where they are in the learning. So I say my son is a child of a different learner. He learns differently. Okay, and he just because he doesn't talk, he can function. So when I met Sybil and I was moving to Maryland because my job transferred me here, I said I'm going to make him be independent because in Michigan you can go to school till you're 26.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. So he was 20, going on 21. So when I moved to Howard County, he only had 6 months really to.
I'm making notes on what you're
Okay, he only had like 6 months
Very
to
nice.
even do what he needed to do there. So I said, Sybil, Ross is gonna live independently. She was like, really? I was like, yeah, he's gonna live independently. And
I said, no, Sydney
She
and
said-
Sabrina,
she said, oh, no.
They gonna be with me for the rest of my life.
I said, well, good for you. I said, because I ain't that one, okay? I ain't trying to
It's a
let
damn lie. Cause
But you know what I'm saying.
I get you.
Okay. I mean, even your kids, even your kids that are on target, you're like, you want them to thrive and go to college or do whatever it is. And I was like, Ross is going to college.
Get out the house.
I'm gonna figure out how he's gonna go. And he's doing so awesome. When I pick him up, or
Is he
his
in
dad.
college?
No.
Oh, well, no. I'm
He's
sorry.
in his independent living situation. There's 3 other adult males that live in his home. He has 24-hour caregivers. He goes to a day program where he works and does other stuff. But
go to
I can see how grown up he is. Like when he comes to visit, he's like, okay, I've seen you enough. I'm getting ready to take my stuff and leave.
go home.
That's how they are. They're like,
Yeah.
I want to go to the new house right now with
I have a
all
question
my
for
pots
both
and
of you
pans.
guys, since you're at that phase, how did you come to feel comfortable with that? Is it because of their
Because I can see he was turning
you
into.
know, how
I
did
can
that
see
come
he
to
was
be? And
turning.
it might be different for both of you, but
I felt like he was turning into a man, and he was trying to show his independence, and some of it was violent. I mean, you know, he was aggressive. I mean, no different than a regular teenage boy would be aggressive. But because you don't have that language piece,
yeah, it's frustrating.
okay, it was frustrating. And I tried to make
You
him
wanna jack off?
appear.
I'm just saying, I'm going through that. Not to cut you off. I'm gonna shut up, but go ahead.
So, oh, he doesn't. Oh, he was, no, 100%.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, 100%. And so, no different than I couldn't. So his brother is 4 years older than him. I have an older son.
Okay.
Okay. So it looks different in somebody that is developmentally on target. They're aggressive. They get smart. They lie. They do all the stuff that teenagers kind of do to try to figure out their independence. But when somebody in the spectrum of autism, it looks different.
Right.
So I just could tell that he was trying to get away from my husband and I at the time. And my husband and I, unfortunately, we're not married anymore, but we were married for a long time, and we were on different pages about that. I can be very honest about that. He felt like Sybil or you or whomever, oh no, I'm gonna always take care of him. And I was like, no, this is not right. I want the same thing for my older son that I want for him. You know what I'm saying? And every social worker, every person that I ever talked to, all told me the same thing. That if I can tell you anything about this journey, make sure you have some place for him when you get older. Like, how is it gonna look? I'm gonna be 80, he'll be 50, and then he have to go into some kind of living situation.
Right.
That
You know what
couldn't
I'm saying?
choose.
That I couldn't
You'd rather
alter
have
or
already
look
thought
at.
Right,
You know what I'm
exactly,
saying? No matter
exactly.
what your socioeconomic background is or whatever, you want your kids to be independent of you.
Yeah.
They have to be.
I mean,
At some point.
that's the point that all of us get to. Our parents did it for us, and we need to do it for them. And I just felt like God spoke to me and said, Beth, he needs, yes, yes, because if something happened to me, I'm a type 1 diabetic, my husband has, I have all these things. I could die tomorrow. And then what?
They take him out of the only place he's ever known and put
Correct.
him somewhere that you had no say-so over.
Correct.
Where he's probably
And
being
I can
mistreated.
monitor it now. I can look at it and say, I don't like this caregiver. I don't like this person that's, taking him to his day program. I don't like this. I can have control over that now. But more importantly, it gave him. So as parents, and this is true for regular children to me, developmentally on target children, they get used to what you give them. And that you, always there for them. And for a child on the spectrum, their change is more difficult. He is like OCD, he has to have everything the same. It needed to be different. He needed to see different stuff. Yes. Yes. You have a question?
You have to stand up, and then we'll be able to hear you better. No, you're fine.
Oh, okay.
I'm from Arizona, and I'm actually out here as a travel nurse. I put my son in
Very nice.
father's care. But now he's back. We did the homeschooling thing the
I'm sure.
So even though I had them taking some classes at the community college and stuff, and there were dollars allocated for that, so that didn't really work out for us. So my son is not so severe that he's going to receive all the government benefits and stuff like that. So with him being 16, I'm trying to figure out resources for him transitioning into adulthood. That's going to be on my dime. And are you guys doing like...
So your IEP, no matter what state you live in, is there for the exact thing they're talking about. So you need to put in your IEP with the social worker, the OT, whoever is working with your child now, that this is what I want for him at 18, 19, 20.
Well, that leads me to my next question. I had never heard about a family attorney being provided by the state or the school district.
Well, I didn't have that in Michigan. I'm just speaking for myself.
Maybe about maybe hiring an advocate or something, but that was the first time I heard of that. And if you guys can expound on that, because maybe I can see if that's available in my state.
I don't know. You said you never had one?
No, I never
Well,
had one.
I actually was referred to this attorney firm by the young lady I was talking about, Dolly. But I still didn't know that at the end of the day they would get paid through the school district, you know. But I feel like if you find one that, if you find a family attorney, or I'm sure you can Google a attorney that's specialized for that, special needs attorney or whatever, and they should be able to, you should go to them and ask them about the work they do pro bono for, you know, knowing that they're going to get paid through the school district.
And I want to add to that, too. You also need to...
Not through the school district, but if you go against the school district, they will pay them because you are knowledgeable enough to know you have an attorney.
And you need that,
Yeah.
too, for a special needs trust. Let me bring that up. That's
Which
another...
is a separate thing. I just
Yes.
said one of those.
Yeah, no. Okay, so a special needs trust is important because let's say something happened to you all of a sudden or your ex. Any dollars, especially if they get social services from the government, they'll take all that money, like life insurance or whatever, or your home, whatever, and you need to put that in a special needs trust because it can't be in their name. So the bottom line is you need to be working on that too because he's 16 and something could happen and he turns 18, he automatically is on the, you know, disability, Medicaid, Medicare, whatever. And you need to get a special needs trust just for all the stuff so that it won't be taken away
From your child.
yes, from your child.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing like, I don't know, are you guys doing a guardianship and all that?
Oh yeah, I have guardianship now. I didn't sign my guardianship over to the place where he is now. I still have guardianship. Me and my ex-husband
When
both
do you
have.
get guardianship? When
At
Why is that?
18,
Because he's
at
in an
18.
independent living facility? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
So, I mean, I could have signed my guardianship over to the independent living facility, but I didn't want to do that
Right.
personally while I
Right.
was still alive.
Right.
So
exactly.
at 18, just so you guys know, at 18, you have to, well, you don't have to, but it's best that you get guardianship over your child because your child is 18, he's considered an adult, and if you don't make the decisions, the government will. How old is your baby? You have an autistic baby?
Yes, I do. Hello, everyone. I'm
Hey,
Pamisha
Boo.
Boyd. How y'all doing? My son is Antoine. He's a twin. His sister isn't autistic, but he is. He's 8 years old. He attends DCPS. He goes to Thomas. My question was, and I was basically stating, before I had Antoine, I was 19 years old, and I used to work for Millwood in the ARCA PG. So I used to work in-home, in-center, at the day program, just a teenager, fresh out of high school, not knowing what to do, but I work with people with disabilities. So when I had my own child, it was very easy for me to understand nonverbal, verbal, yes, no, sign language, things like that. So Sharona knows, but I'm real active. I'm a real active mom. I had Antoine on dialysis. I was on dialysis for 10 years. I just got a kidney last year.
Praise God.
So dealing with my own health issues and having a child on the spectrum is very, very, it's very hard. and then to have a twin, and then a household of people who don't understand. So
Right.
when I say it takes
That
a
part.
village, it literally takes a village.
Yes, it
I be
does.
following my girl. We be talking because our kid, my oldest is the same age. So every step of the way, whatever. When I had my twin, Shakela was calling me. She's like, "Hey, girl, check this out," and I was on it. And I'm blessed that we are in DC, and DC do offer a lot of programs, early stages. My son had an ILP before he got an IEP. So an ILP is normally for kids under the age of 5, and it helps them. And it's a learning. And it's a learning plan.
Because they're
So
not
it's an
old enough
individual
to be in
learning plan.
school.
So legally in the state of District of Columbia, they don't really try to diagnose a child until they're school age. So they try to get them early intervention, which they get them an ILP. So whoever it is, if it's speech, it's OT, they go out to the daycares, they come in home and they try to help your child figure out hey, is they on the spectrum? Is it a different disability? Or, maybe you the parent tripping. That's how they look at it. You get what I'm saying? Oh, she just thought of a whole bunch of stuff to tell us. I'd be like, you know what? I'm just going to leave out the room and let him rip your phone, take your hair with him, and all this other stuff. So sometimes, like what she was saying is true. That they make it like it's the child. And we as parents, sometimes we can be in denial because we do have regular children. And you oh, well, this child was this way and this child was that way. No, they're different. Once we accept that, and you just think about our care as adults, do we fully take care of ourselves? Sometimes no. Mm-hmm. We go under the doctor radar. We go under our own radars. Mm-hmm. So imagine a child who is nonverbal and they cannot let you know any of this. So it gets very hard. To piggyback, I was working in the different homes and the different day programs. And yes, what encourages me with my son is a lot of my clients were highly functional. They worked at Andrews Air Force Base. They worked down Goddard. Yes, they cleaned up. Yes, we had attendants to follow them. But they were able to independently do what they needed to do. So it was those parents that was 60, and they was oh, and they called me Nisha. My name Misha. No, I'm talking about y'all 60 looking good. Y'all pushing P. Hold on.
The real 60-year-olds.
I'm talking about 60 black did crack. No. But
She said black 60 did crack.
It did crack. And what happened was they were those parents who were uneducated. They weren't educated. And they didn't know that my child only eat peanut M&Ms. And every day they get on Ms. Misha Van, I got peanut M&Ms. So they didn't know. So a lot of stuff, I was learning too, because I'm if he spit on me one more time or he ain't brushing his teeth.
Cyrus.
I'm hold on.
I think what she's saying is going back to the era of what you meant when it wasn't really...
It wasn't noticeable. It wasn't knowledgeable.
Right.
So,
it still ain't fully explored, but that's even before.
So that's when they was using the word retardation. Let's be real clear. The word it's it's right. Banned now, but that's when they was oh, my child is the R word, and it was just so what's the R word? They had in the back of the house.
Right. Right.
So no, you see my face? Y'all see my face? I got my kidney, right? And I limped up in the school, and I told the teacher, and I called the police. I said,
what
"Man,
you did, boo? Tell it one more time. What you did?
I limped up
what
in the
you
school.
did in the school, boo?
I told the teacher, the principal might be watching. Yeah. She know. She said, and when Miss Boyd coming, she already know. I said, hold on, you called me for my child poking a kid in the eye. But you ain't called me last week when 3 girls tried to jump my daughter.
Right.
Uh-oh. I told the police officer, stand right here, because I want to press charges. No. You have to get, a lot of these parents, they think, first of all, the color of our skin in the communities we're in, we're dumb. No. So you want to talk to me on a government level, we're going to get the government officials involved. Officer, stand right here. And I said, exactly, I would like to press charges on the principal, because one thing, and I said it like that. I said, because if I send my child to school hungry, you are aware of that.
I'm done.
So you're telling me you're not aware that my child is being picked on in a class with a bunch of kids, but you called me because he poked one of the kids in the eye. So I want to press charges on you starting there.
I
the
wish I'd have
special
met you
education,
like 20 years ago,
yeah,
because I
assistant
should have pressed
principal.
charges on a lot of them
Yes,
motherfuckers.
when I tell
I
you,
used to
she
go
was
home
at
and
her
cry.
desk
No, we
crying.
not pressing charges
was
because
on
my
the
sons would have
phone.
been under the jail.
Listen, she was trying to call the phone. She was trying to call the other parent. I clicked the phone. No, she needs to get
Click
to
it
the
again,
school.
boo. Click it one more time.
And she asked the
Bam,
police
bam, bam.
officer.
Yo.
She said, is she allowed to do that? He said, well, what it sounds like is a student assaulted her nonverbal child. I said,
Right.
that's what it sounds like. So now we have the government involved. So how are we going to figure it out? Oh, she got to call in the parent, because then 2 weeks later, she called. She said, oh, hey, Miss Boyd, they have you on the list as number 1 to meet Camilla Hers. I said, oh, because I'm in Deers. So don't think because my child goes to this school and I may be young that I didn't come from this type of background. I just don't have to display that, because that's not why I'm here. I'm here because I have a child and he needs education. So either treat my child properly or we'll pull him out. And when you speak on pulling them out, as you did, and what you said, it takes money away from those seats. So the DJ, he was laughing. I said, it goes to the building fund. That's the broke lights they ain't never got, the broke lunches. You get what I'm saying? So all kids only eat macaroni, chicken nuggets, and
I
certain
know.
stuff.
Right.
Why they don't have that menu for our kids in the school? So it's a lot that as parents, we ain't finished yet. We just getting started.
Right.
And I thank you ladies for y'all platform.
We thank you for your information,
A lot
too.
that
Thank
y'all
you.
say. We working on it, and I'm tired of sending nuggets. I feel
Yep.
like you feel the money
She said,
there.
I'm tired of
Yep,
sending that.
thank you
I'm
so
tired of
much. All right, so
Yes. But can I
Reese.
just say something real quick? Because I don't
Yep.
know how
we're
long
getting ready
y'all
to wrap
got.
it up.
Okay, well.
You can end it.
But those are, these type of things, like, that's why I'm making my notes. Like, those things that are not concurrent state to state.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like ultimately that's something that, as we do things like this and the conversations are had and the
very
information and
important.
education is spread, we can make those changes ultimately, you know?
For real.
Why is it 26 in this state, 21 in that state, 22 in my state?
No.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Nothing in another state, probably.
We
you know?
gotta take it to the hill.
Yeah. I would love, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah. This was so amazing. I have no idea how long this was. Mike just didn't give me an hour. An hour and
Even a
7.
ILP,
That
never
was
heard of
wonderful.
that.
Yeah, you learned something new.
Never heard of
Yay!
ILP.
DJ, play us out. Thank you so much, Faith. I want to jam to one of her wonderful
Why gotta
songs.
be my song?
I know. Well, let's do Sybil's Blues. Let's do Sybil's Blues, baby.
Can I choose the song? What if I want to hear Mobb Deep? Like,
Mobb Deep. She said she want to hear
what if I
Mobb
want to hear
Deep.
Ghostface Killer? Like, I'm just saying. Like,
To all the killers and the $100
No,
billers.
Faith, thank you so much. Thank you so much
Oh
for
my
coming
God.
all the way from
we
California.
okay, wait. First of all, I just want to let you guys know that I was so prepared. I'm glad that it ended up being like this. I went and bought this outfit and left that shit hanging in my closet. And when I got here, I was like, girl, I got some jeans and some heels. And she gave me this t-shirt. But thank God it was such a casual. I didn't know. I thought, I didn't know if it was, But I'm glad that I was able to come.
Yes.
My vehicle got stolen yesterday when I was on my way to the airport. So I'm leaving right now to go back and go look for my Sprinter that I just bought. But nonetheless, God is good. And thank you everybody for coming out.
Thank
you
you
guys
for
for having
coming.
me.
Thank you for
all the way from California.
I don't know. I want to, at some point, we're going to get in touch because I feel like I don't know how many people in here are actually,
A lot.
going through, right. Obviously, some are even connected
Autistic
to
parents, mom, stand up.
Right.
And dad.
But listen, we can make a difference. We can make a difference some way, somehow. We can make a
Yes.
difference, whether it's
We
in your
can.
community, whether it's in your state. Ultimately, I feel like we need to do something that's going to make a
Absolutely,
legislative difference
Yes.
to make, at least
Absolutely.
try and even out the scoreboard somehow.
We have to even it out and
Yeah.
elevate it.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Even but elevate it
Yes,
to a
ma'am.
whole nother level. And we have a small army here in DC, and I'm sure you do. I just would like to take a moment to thank all of our sponsors, and we have a slew of them.
Thank you, sponsors.
I need Jennifer Coles to
Thanks
come.
for the cocktails.
I know, right? The cocktails were amazing, right? So wherever Jennifer Coles is right now, we want Jennifer.
And Thelma.
Thelma is at another event.
Oh,
so
okay.
Jennifer, if you could come to the DJ's
Hey,
booth and
Jenna.
thank all of our sponsors. I believe you have them all.
Affairs.
Starting with yours. Woo! Get in the camera.
Anybody want a blue cocktail?
Yeah, that would be.
Reese, go
That would
get
be.
it.
That would be.
Okay.
Reese. I'm drinking pink.
She has two.
It matches your hair.
So if everyone could be quiet, even in the back by the bar, because we have a slew of people that we would really love to thank to put this on, and they were extremely excited when we reached out to them, and we told them that we had this fabulous guest, Faith Evans. A lot of my tribe was like, Faith, she has a child on the spectrum, and I had to send the video to everyone, and of course people in Sharona's tribe knows them. So I called my cousin / goddaughter and I said, Jennifer, let's put this together. So
She did an amazing job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you. Thank everyone for coming. I just want to quickly thank the vendors because this was a true team effort, and autism affects so many of us, and so I just want to make sure, and let me not block anyone, that I recognize our vendors who contributed to today's event. White Glove Event Rentals, they contributed to our furniture, decor. Marigold and Gray gifted us with a luxury gift for Miss Faith Evans. Petals and Promises, the beautiful floral arrangements, which, okay, are we raffling?
roll with it, baby.
All right, well, we might raffle those if anyone wants to buy a raffle ticket. Sweet gifts, balloons, and events for our lovely backdrop. Bear Samples on the styling, and Theory, who, Nicole has been amazing in getting their voice out. They were on Sway in the morning.
Top tier.
It's just been amazing. We got to WP. Yeah, Nicole has to. Nicole has been all of the things to get get them the platform that they deserve. So we want to obviously thank Sway's Universe. DJ Heat, thank you so much. The WPGC team, Luc Belair, there's a little discrepancy in how we say this, but Luc Belair for the champagne. Thank you very much. Chef Stu, star-studded events for the bar design.
For the Tito's.
Yes. Just Delcina for our beautiful bartender serve. Delcina has also been the MVP of the day. Yes, ma'am. Okay, the jack of all trades, bar design, whatever you need, honey. But she came through with our bar design, bartender. She in the back doing hair, doing everything. And of course we have. I think I recognize everyone. And we have to thank Mel for the space. She's been amazing. Is she back there?
Mel.
She's probably doing something because if you need an event, I cannot tell you, she has been so accommodating. And then, of course, you all are familiar. Blues Brothers, Sid Sib, and I Am Infatuating Affairs, Weddings and Events. And I said Chef Stu. Come on out. Come on.
Again.
We have something.
Mike Denberg.
He's amazing. I'm telling you, slap your mama good. Y'all gonna get a little taste after the show.
Oh, wait. Move them shoulders again, boo. Go do that. More. Do it again. Hey,
Mike Denberg.
The food is slamming.
Mike Denberg.
And IT, yes, I cannot. Mike is the man, 100 grand. He has been coming from Baltimore months in advance to set this up. He is so committed. If you need, I don't know, Mike, are you freelancing? Because the IT is on point.
Nate is in the building.
Yes.
My God, Nate.
Yes.
I forget. Nicole calls him his handle. I call him Nate. What is it? Boy Nate. He is so dope on this whole video. Anyway.
You're giving
And
me.
Lania.
Huh?
You're giving
Thanks,
me like
boo.
Carol Ford, Wendy Williams tease. Like you sound like you should have been like a radio announcer sometimes.
Right, and that's her
Carol
girl
Ford.
too.
Carol Ford from WBLS, baby.
I just don't
That's
have the
what you
boobies
giving
like
me.
her. I love, she's in my head, that's why.
She love her.
You guys, thank you so much for coming. We are going to be on so many other
Well, I
platforms.
thought it was gonna be like 2 hours longer.
No, we got to drink and party.
I know,
Come
I'm
on,
sorry.
DJ, hit.